Action. Pass now.
Both sides encountering.
Shoot!
We killed it. Wait till you see Coca Cola.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'll be talking about a couple of frames from my recent commercial I did for Coca Cola. So it's a spec ad, so it's not paid by Coca Cola. But why I did this was just to grow at the same time to create a good looking commercial for my portfolio. So I reached out to my friend, shout out to Papa today for accommodating me and for his wife as well. We filmed this commercial in one day in the apartment, and the reason why we picked the location is because they are very comfortable with that place. Obviously that's where they live. At the same time, the position of light, and their house is about third floor or second floor, I can't actually remember, but we can get a light stand with light outside and blast the light inside the house. But the sun was shining through the window, which is a very massive window, and we used that to our advantage. So it was just the three of us, and I had to like make everything work seamlessly and not giving us headache. So we filmed all of this in one day, like I said, and I will quickly talk about the camera we used, the lens we used, and I will then break down about 3 frames from the commercial. And by the way, if you've not seen the commercial, it's currently on my channel, and I will probably be showing it at the end of this video as well. So I will show you guys 3 frames from this commercial, and at the same time we'll talk about how we achieved this particular look.
But then, in that final moment, the magic happens.
So now that you've seen the frames, the camera I used for this Spec commercial was the Sony FX6 with the diesel film 40mm VESPID prime, and at the same time I shot about 2 frames by the wide shots on my Sony A7S III, and I paired that with the camera 17 to 28mm. Now going into the frame one after the other, so I'll probably be talking about 3 or 4 of the frames. So I'll probably start with the wide shots, and I will share with you what our lighting process was and how we achieved this particular look. First and foremost, the window is the most important thing for me in this frame, and that's the massive window I talked about. And the first thing I did was to readjust the arrangement of these blinds or these curtains in a way that gives a kind of dark light dark situation. Just create a pattern that is engaging to the eye, and at the same time allow the light in a particular direction. So the first thing we have here is the sunlight coming from this end. And you know, if the sun is blasting through the window and you are showing the window in shots, and you actually want to expose for the outside, you have a problem of having a dark scene. So that was the main issue we ran into. But luckily for us, we have the Amaran 300C and the Godox F200 by as our key light. So that was positioned in one place all through the commercial and was not moved at all. If I did move, it will be like within that range. Nothing is going too wide or too close. So these 2 lights are serving as a kind of feel with the main light coming from the sun. And at the same time, over here in this corner here, there is a massive mirror which kind of worked to advantage, which in the next shots I'll be showing you guys how this mirror was used, and it helped our production. So this mirror, the sun coming from outside was blasting into this mirror over here, and it was reflecting light back to this frame, which amplifies the source of light we are getting from the 300C and the 200 by. So now we get about, I don't know how much, I can't calculate the watts of light that is bouncing through, but I know this is about 500, considering that Amaran 300C is a 300 watts light and the Godos is a 200 watts light. So all were on 100% because I was just trying to compensate for that exposure outside, and that's why we have that. And basically, this was shot on the Sony A7S3 and 17 to 28 mil. So this is the widest I got. And so I'll quickly move on to the next shot. And but before I move on, you can see this particular plant was positioned here just for creating a very good look. And I'll move over to another shot from the frame, which will probably be this frame here. Moving back to this frame, now I will quickly talk about the whole idea of the commercial in case you've not seen it. So a guy was playing a football game on his PS5 and he was losing the match, and his wife came in from work and he hardly gave attention to her and was very busy with his game. Though he was losing, he couldn't like give 100% attention to his wife, which is not good. Well, the wife realized what was going on. She went inside, have a change of clothes, and get comfortable. Then she came out with 2 bottles of Coke, and on arriving on the frame again, she brought with her victory for the husband, and he scored a goal at that point in time, and they celebrated. And the whole idea is Coca Cola is a recipe for magic, so the magic is the Coca Cola came in and the guy scored a goal. So luckily for us, I already told my friend to react as if he actually scored a goal, but he luckily scored a goal at that particular point in time. So the reaction was very genuine and kind of make the whole thing look really real, really real. Kind of make the whole thing look real, and I love it. So, long story short, this frame was shot on the Sony FX6 with the 40mm VESPID prime, and now you can see the effect of the sun I was talking about. So the sun was coming from this direction and was blasting through into this whole room, and you can see this effect of the sun on the frame, the edge lights, that rim light all over the whole frame, the bottle, the person's leg, everything was being edged by the sun. So we have our own main lights coming from this direction and bouncing straight into their face and giving this soft light all over the room and all over the jersey here, and even to show the Coca Cola. But it's not as powerful as the sun that was blasting through, and which I've used as a kind of a silhouette vibe and not letting the sun be the main source of light. So it's more like a backlight, and it's creating that rim light all over the subject's body and the whole entire frame, which I love, and makes the whole thing look more interesting to me. F200 by, and I'm around 300 C. So what I said earlier about using the blinds, the curtains as patterns. So this is shadow, lights, shadow, lights, shadow. So that kind of look was what I was going for, and I was able to achieve it, and I was happy at the end. So this is when the bottle came in and they were celebrating and sharing, and they let me show you the frame where I talked about the reflection from the main mirror and how it impacted the whole shot. So this particular shot is the one I was talking about. So as you can see from here, we have this reflection here coming through like this, like this, like this. And that's because I've angled the mirror from this end to bounce the light coming from the sun from this corner here. that way and then bounce it back into this direction, which gives this pattern of lines that went over the guy's hand and the game console. So nothing much was going on in this shot. I have my camera just down in this position, angled down, straight looking down into the table, and the FX6 and the VESPID 40mm. So that was what I said about using what you have on set to your advantage. The mirror was there, it's massive. The sun was blasting through from the corner. I had to take the advantage of that, and I used that for this shot. And lastly, I will show you guys one more shot, and I will quickly talk about the importance of creating spec art. So this is our last frame from the spec commercial and the last frame I'll be talking about today. So as you can all see, the flare coming from this corner is the effect of the sun that is coming from this corner, and you can see that soft flare, and that's because of the VESPID 40mm, which is very, very nice. The flare looks very, very soft, and the camera is the Sony FX6 as well. So the pattern is well, the shadow, the lights, the shadow, that went on and on. It's about 5 of them like that, and then we have the light part here again and the shadow part here. So you can see the rim lights or the edge light or the back lights here as well, giving that Coca Cola bottle, showing what it is, even though this side of the frame was the shadow side and the lights were all coming from this direction. So all the lights were coming from this direction. So I actually positioned these bottles here behind the camera and let the sun shine through. Almost all of the shot I did use that method just to get that um, content of the bottle. See this highlight on the bottle. I just want that thing showing in short, and the couple were at the back being out of focus, and just to give more attention to the recipe for magic, which is obviously Coca Cola. So that was basically all we did. And in this spec commercial, there are two things I learned. And the first one is, even if you don't have people to assist you for your production, or you don't have people around it that are interested in what you're doing, which is one of the challenges I have. But if it's one person or two persons that are interested in helping you or working with you, just do something with them, and don't sit around and wait until you have 7, 8, 10 people having a massive set to do something. If it's something you can do in 10 seconds, a 10-second spec commercial, if it's one scene spec commercial, if it's one short film you want to talk about, if it's to film yourself by yourself, just do something. And this is one of them. I couldn't really rally around people to work with me on this production, but at least I got these two of my friends, and they were happy to be the subject of the commercial. And luckily for me, I have the camera and the lens and the lights, and we did what we can do, and this is the result we got. Which, if I've decided that it's just me and there's nobody to help me, and I'm saying I'm not going to do it because there's no one to work with me, there won't be this particular spec commercial, and it won't be in my portfolio. So taking the step, even if you don't have much people around you to assist you, so it might take a while, but you get something done. The other thing I learned was, when we are trying to procure this Coca Cola bottle, we had to look for this bottle in about, I'm not exaggerating, maybe about 7 or 6 shops. And for me, at the point, I was like, maybe we should just use the can. And this friend of mine, he said, no, let's keep checking. Let's check the next shop. Let's check the next shop. Let's check the next shop. That's one thing I learned from that was that whatever you've decided to do on your production, don't easily compromise and say, oh, let's go for something else. You never can tell the bottle you are looking for is in just the next shop near you. And we got the bottle at the end, and we're all happy. And I just want to say a shout out to my friend for encouraging and being there for me for this production, and his wife as well. And thank you guys as well for watching this video. If you've grabbed one thing or the other from this video, please do well to like it and put a comment down in the comment section. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. We are nearly at 1,000 subscribers. Please, let's get there as soon as possible and move forward. Thank you guys once again. And this is the Spec commercial.
Sometimes, even when you give it your all, things don't go as planned. You stay focused, push through the challenges, and give 100%, yet the outcome remains uncertain. But then, in that final moment, the magic happens. Coca Cola, the recipe for magic.
And that is a wrap. Hopefully that's recording.